Hello and welcome to some more Tesla news. As always, trying to get the best quality here, but got some backlight issues. I don't know if there's a way to... I'm streaming live for the first time via the YouTube app, and I'm going to be going over some of the big news of Tesla stuff in the past week. So, the Tesla Model S, they're discontinuing the software limited 60 and 60D model. So, if you're looking to get a cheap Tesla for under $60,000 brand new, you got to do it before the 16th of April, because after that you won't be able to order it anymore. And you need to take delivery by the end of June, which is very interesting, which means in July they're going to be delivering the Model 3. So they're getting rid of the low-end Model S to make room for the high-end Model 3, maybe? Go ahead and comment. This is live Q&A. As I do the news, I will comment on what I can when I can. I'm on the right side of the car this time. I'm using the YouTube app to stream. Let me know how the video quality is. It was complaining about it, saying that there's some issues. Alright, so with that out of the way, your options if you want to get a cheap Tesla is used. Pre-owned is a good deal because they give you a warranty again, and there's been issues with Teslas in the past, especially the older ones, so I would recommend going with one that still has a warranty if you can. Although, if you can get a really good price on one with higher miles, usually all the little things have been fixed by that point. And all the stuff that's like important, like the powertrain, has a really long warranty on it. Only thing I'd worry about is like the door handles are a little bit expensive, so you might look out for that. It could be like $700 to get those fixed. Alright, lots of Model 3 news actually. CPO with supercharging for the win. Yeah, that's right. So the free supercharging for life is tied to the VIN. So I was just, I actually just had some work done on my Model X here. The tailgate or trunk was kind of wobbling a little bit when it opened, so they had to replace a strut. And I asked them about, well, how much is it going to cost for the 100 kilowatt hour battery? And they said they are going to do it, but they don't know how much it's going to be, and it won't ruin my free supercharging for life because it's tied to the car and not the battery. So that's good news. Yeah, get yourself a a used, pre-owned, recertified Tesla. And you could use my code. I gotta pimp it because that's the other big thing is they've updated the referral program. They got all kinds of new prizes. My code's just Patrick4254. Patrick4254. Anyways, the referrals. So if I have one referral, somebody using my code from now until June 15th, then we'll get a pass for 4 to the Gigafactory in Sparks, Nevada, which I actually got to go to the grand opening, so it'd be interesting to see now that it's actually running, because they were just assembling packs before, and now it's actually running, so that'd be kind of cool. And for 4, boy, if anybody else wanted to join me, I don't really have 4 people I know that want to go immediately, so if you buy a Tesla, let me know, and if you want to go, maybe we can work something out. If you get 2 referrals, you'll receive a rolling Tesla carry-on. 3, you get one of those Radio Flyer Tesla Model S's for kids. Me. Sure, Brian. Let me know. Yeah, send me an email, pox@twosmartguys.com, and if I need more people, I'll let them know. On the Gigafactory if I get a referral. All right. So for 3, you get the miniature Model S. 5, you get a Founder Series Powerwall 2, so it's red. Ooh, fancy. I have a Powerwall 2 on pre-order. It's my son, Colt. We were just at Comic-Con, so he's still got some face paint on. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, the Powerwall 2. I've got one on pre-order, and they called me up. They asked me some questions. They said I will be getting contacted soon about getting it installed. So I will definitely make videos about that and let you guys know about the process. I've got a little bit of solar on my garage that I'm going to tie into, and also we have peak rates, so it should work out pretty good for me. charging it up at night when the rates are low and using it during peak during the day. And hopefully it'll help my electric bill out. Number 7. So you have to make 7 referrals for the next big thing, and that's yourself and a guest to attend the Model 3 delivery event. So this is going to end June 15th, which means they're probably going to be doing the delivery event at the end of June, early July, which is exciting. That's the other big news with the Tesla Model 3, that release candidates are currently being built, Elon Musk notes, and they're almost entirely built with production tooling. That means they're using the final process to put these things together and get them on the line, and it's very exciting. Model 3, they're saying that if they make every single one possible perfect and they have no hiccups, they can make 80,000 of them by the end of this year, which is not going to happen. There's no way it's going to happen. But it does give you kind of an idea of whether or not you'll get one this year, because a priority for the Model 3s right now, our employees are going to basically be the founders. So they'll get theirs first over in California. And then Tesla owners, current Tesla owners, I've owned 2 Teslas. I don't know where that puts me. I also stood in line to reserve it on the unveiling, before the unveiling event and at the unveiling event. Although they canceled one of my orders because my credit card company thought it was fraud having 2 charges at the same time. So I think I only have 1 reservation right now, which I only need 1 car, but I was hoping I could help with my family trying to talk them into getting one of the reserves. Are they just getting rid of the S60? Other S is safe? Yeah, the D. So the dual motor 60. So no more 60s, period. And I think they've said before that the Model 3 base will be less than a 60 kilowatt hour battery. But since then, the Chevy Bolt has come out with a 60 kilowatt battery. So my guess is it would just, if it's going to be under 60 kilowatts, it's just going to be a hair under 60 kilowatts. So it's either going to be like 55 or 58 or 59 or something really close, or it'll be a 70 pack that's limited to 59 or 58 or 55 or something like that. Whatever it is, I would guess that they might actually make it a bit higher than they need to physically, and then limit it so they get that 215 mile range on the base model to whatever that is. Just pure speculation. Elon Musk also gave out some details about a 5-minute delivery process, paperwork, instructional videos to be sent ahead of time and on the car. So instead of taking an hour to deliver somebody's car, they're trying to just kick those things out. 55, 70, 85. Brian, yeah, I think you're right. Right on. On the kilowatt hours for the Model 3. What else? Oh, man, there wasn't a whole lot of huge news this week. I posted a 360-degree video of me driving down the strip in my Model X in Las Vegas, and it's mostly on Autopilot. I have a longer video that I'll post. This one I think is only 3 minutes, but I did another one that's like almost 20 minutes. And it's kind of interesting to see how well it works. It doesn't work too well with those bots dots. It works better with lines on the road. I got to test it in Salt Lake, and it worked really well on some crazy curvy stuff with bike markers and things. So I think it's there. I think we're ready for that full speed, Elon. Kick it out. We'll get that full speed hardware 2.0 Autopilot. You just ordered a 100D? Awesome! Let me know how it works out, because I was really debating getting a 100D, because I knew when I ordered this 90D that the 100D was just around the corner, but I wanted that free supercharging for life, and I don't know. I didn't know the pricing of it, but now that I know the pricing on the supercharging is so low, I probably would have waited for the 100 if I would have known how low the supercharging pricing was going to be. What else? Oh, so cities shop for 10 billion of electric vehicles to defy Trump. So I thought this is pretty interesting, because there's a lot of talk of a lot of the electric vehicle incentives going away, and so all these cities like LA, New York, they're getting together and they want to buy 1,400 electric vehicles, including police cruisers, street sweepers, trash haulers. This is being led up by the mayor of Los Angeles. And I think that's just really cool because there were incentives before, like they were really trying to do alternative fuel vehicles in the late 90s, and they didn't really work out so swell. They kind of came up with mediocre compliance vehicles. And once those ended, different electric vehicle manufacturers, especially Tesla, came out of the woodworks and made an awesome electric vehicle to prove that electric cars could be awesome. And now we have Tesla. And I think it's going to be the same way. Like the Model 3 doesn't really need the incentives to work out. I think 35,000 is a pretty good deal. I mean, if it was under 30, that'd be great. But if everybody's on the level playing field, it should be okay. And that's what Elon's saying. Let me go back through some of the comments. This new streaming's cool. They pop up really quick though, and they disappear. So I only see them. I only see your comments popping up. I don't see a history. So, dang it.
Scroll. Can you scroll?
I can't. Oh, there we go. Yep, I scroll up. Okay. Let me go back up a little bit. If I don't know how to say that Renault can double the density in the Zoe 2.4 to 41 kilowatt hour plus. Add a few extra bits. I think Tesla can do it. Save Model S aluminum, 3 steel, so heavier. Yep. I think you're right. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Kind of scared that the 2170s are coming. Oh yeah, they are going to be better batteries. So we'll see. Better get a 60 or a used one in that price range. Oh, I don't know. That's a really good question. Last time I looked, there weren't very many certified pre-owns that were under like 80,000. Most of the there was a couple that were in the 40,000 range that were 60s, but they were old 60s. So no Autopilot, no software limited battery, and I don't know about those. I think they could be problematic. I think you might be better off getting a new one, especially if you live in a state like Colorado, where they've got $5,000 off the top, and then you get your your tax incentives and all that. I think you're better off getting a new one, or a higher battery certified pre-owned. Did you say Trump had a Tesla last time out? Yeah, they said he had a Roadster at one point in time. I don't know if he still does or if he has a Model S, but he did have one. Battery capacity will probably increase and less price. That's true. It's always going that way. Do you think they will switch the S and X to the new 2170 same time they start production of the Model 3? I don't know. I think that they're so backlogged with all the Powerwall and Model 3s, they might continue to use the older battery packs, especially since they kind of switched everything up for the 100D or the 100D batteries. 100s. They might use them till like the end of the year or just until they run out of supply. And it depends on what Panasonic's doing. Well, it'd be interesting to see. They might switch them up. Probably after phasing out the 60 in April. That's a good point. If they're phasing out the 60, maybe that's part of the reason why. Is they're going to be switching to that new battery cell. I wouldn't put it past them. Surely GM cannot stop. They won't actually make the bits under the body Korean. Nigel? It'll be interesting to see how that Volt does. It's getting a lot of good reviews, but man, it's not a Tesla. It's like a poor man's Tesla, even though the cheaper Tesla is going to cost about the same. What do you think of graphite batteries with significantly higher battery density and faster charge times? I think they'd be great once they get them going. I think that the way that the Gigafactory is laid out, they can switch to whatever is the best chemistry mix that they can get to. There's also good enough stuff with the newer solid state batteries, so it'll be, just every year or so they'll probably have a little bit better chemistry, and at some point they'll probably switch over to an entirely new chemistry that's better. I don't think it's anytime soon, though. I think both those technologies are years away. Nigel says, if the 94 was into something, we have nothing to worry for future batteries. He grabbed it by the battery. Is there an X Autopilot 2? Yes, it is. It is an Autopilot 2X. And if they're making batteries already and have 24-hour production, they could have enough made for production by July. Maybe. I don't know. It sounds like they're trying to move all the batteries to Australia. If they get that deal worked out within 90 days, it's not a whole lot of time. So if they have to power up Australia during the nighttime, I think we might get delayed on our Model S and X batteries. They have an idea for Tesla trucks. I have an idea for Tesla trucks worldwide. Have flatbeds as a giant battery that has, say, 1,000-mile range. When trucks stop for breaks, they can recharge. Cleaner world. That always sounds like a great idea, just throwing bigger batteries to go further. But there's a balance of weight and battery packs. So as you make bigger, heavier batteries, your range decreases. So there's kind of like that's why Elon's saying they don't really plan on doing a bigger than 100 kilowatt battery for a car. And they probably will for a truck, and they probably will put them in the bed. And I wouldn't be surprised at all that they start putting them in trailers. So you can charge up the trailers and keep them charged, and when you pick them up, you can plug them into the truck and extend your range. So yeah, I think there'll be big batteries, but 1,000 miles, I don't know. You're talking maybe semi-truck when they're talking Tesla Semi. I could see that, especially if they're self-driving, go 1,000 miles. That'd be awesome. But I don't see it anytime soon with the current chemistry. I'm thinking maybe 500 miles max with a big battery before it's really, diminishing returns on, how heavy the actual battery is and carrying it around all the time. Because even with a 300-mile battery, you're still driving for 3-4 hours at a time, and it's not good. I've done it before in gas vehicles where you drive 5 hours straight, and it's not good for you, like, as an individual, unless like you could get up and walk around inside your vehicle or something. But if it's self-driving, maybe that makes more sense. Cannot easily put in trailers, easily stolen. I don't know, you can track them. They have GPS and everything, like a Tesla. Lock them down remotely and stuff. Do you think the 60 battery will be made available for the Model 3? Yes. I think it'll be a weird number, though. I think they'll have like a 55 and a 60 or something, a little bit, or a 55 and like a 65, just to kind of keep people from being confused on whether or not it's a Model S in the similar ranges, because a smaller battery in a Model 3, because it's a smaller car, still might get as much range as a Model S with a bigger battery, if that makes any sense. Kind of like how my Model X has a 90 kilowatt hour battery and gets the same range as my Model S did in the 85 kilowatt hour battery. So those extra 5 kilowatt hours, it's a wash. When do I think the 2170s will be put into the Model S and X? Like I said before, talking to you guys, probably this summer, unless they're going to use all those cells over in Australia, and then probably probably in the fall, if that's the case, would be my guess. Although from everything they've said, they're going to just continue using the existing cells for the S and X for the time being until they fulfill their backlog of Model 3s and Powerwalls. So it could be gone for another couple of years. It's hard to say. actually better putting large loads in Hyperloop. That's true. Just slam stuff inside the Hyperloop to deliver it. That's the way to go. You got to build that infrastructure though. April, July. Nissan Leaf 60 kilowatt hour version out end of 2017. Yes, and they are extending people's leases at request. So if you have a lease that ends like next month or something, they'll say, hey, you can keep your current one until September, and then you can get the new Nissan Leaf, which is going to be something that'll have multiple kilowatt hours. All right, I'm going to check my battery. I'm going to head out here pretty quick here. I'm charging at a campground over in Evanston, Wyoming, and I'm just waiting for enough charge to get home. I need about 200 miles of real range. I'm rated at 225 now, but it is crazy windy, crazy hilly. I could make it home now if I drive 55, but if I want to drive like anywhere remotely near the speed limit, which is 80, I would feel much better with a full battery, or at least 230. My firmware version that I'm running right now is version 8.0, 17.9.3. You think the S and X will drop in price when they do that? No. I don't. I think that the Model S and X will continue to just go up in price, and then they'll have Model 3 and eventually Y will be the lower end models. So originally the Model S, they had a 40 kilowatt hour version that was supposed to be $50,000 after all your tax credits and all that jazz. So, but they said nobody bought it. They all opted for the 60 and they just got rid of the 40. So they ended up doing it as a software limited 40, so they didn't have to bother to make the couple thousand or whatever 40s that people had pre-ordered. So yeah, I don't see them making something below a $70,000 Model S or X after the Model 3 comes out. I think they're always going to be kind of more of the models that aren't as in high of production, so they'll update them sooner, is the way Elon explained it. So the Model S and X will kind of like still be the guinea pig cars, really, the more expensive, higher end feature version of the Teslas. So they'll since there's less production or less of them being made, they'll test out the newest Autopilot type sensors or the newest convenience features, and once they really get them worked out, then they'll work their way down the line to the other models of Teslas that are coming out in the future, is my guess, just from the conferences and phone things I've heard from listening to Elon. I hypothetically watched video in battery production and timed it and think they can produce numbers easily. Well, if they can, they can. That'd be awesome. But they're still not. They still haven't fully built that gigafactory yet. So I don't know. Matt says, I hope they get rid of that 6.1% tariff when shipping to Canada due to lack of parts being made in North America and weak Canadian 60 is a 92.5. Oh. Brian says they sold only about 440s. There's only 440s? Wow. I knew it was low, but I didn't know it was that low. That's crazy. That's good to know. Thanks. 40 kilowatt ones are very rare. Yes. And I don't know if I'd recommend them because they can't supercharge, right? Unless they have like a hardware upgrade. You have to upgrade them to a 60 and you have to do a hardware upgrade. And they're the very first production, so they're riddled with issues that may or may not have been fixed. And they're probably all out of warranty now if people used them. What type of phone do I have? And I have an iPhone 7 Plus. What the newest one that came out last year? All right. Let's see. I'm leaning over to get to this phone on a mount. We're going on a road trip with 65 miles range. No sympathy from me. Okay, not really. Your infrastructure appears very poor at the present. Any more of the VW points for your state? I don't know how that VW thing's working out because our state is one of the largest states, and it's the least populated in the United States. So we're getting the least amount of money for the most amount of land. So that's part of the reason I'm doing my own little charging company, Wild West EV, to fill in the gaps, because it's not looking very promising with all the other outfits. Don't forget to call me tomorrow if you get a chance, preferably tomorrow afternoon. Yes, send me an email, pox@twosmartguys, or pat.lawson@wildwestev. I'll give you a call. I went to look for your phone number in the chat history last time we chatted, and it's gone. They don't seem to keep a history of this chat. What do I do for a living? All kinds of things. I run an IT company, and we do wireless internet services and staffing contracts for IT services, and I also am doing electric car charging stations. Brian, correct, no supercharging. We have supercharging in Wyoming, but it's only in a few corners, so it's kind of useless. Well, it's not useless, but it would be more beneficial if there were some actually in actual Wyoming, like proper. They're cheap, but no good for a Tesla collector. White seats and kids? Yep. How do you like the white seats, Colt?
White seats?
Yeah.
I like them.
So far, so good. White seats are easily cleaned. I can attest to that. Yes, they clean off super well. How many miles across your state? About 400, I think. Yeah, because I just was at Evanston, and it said it was like 422 miles to Cheyenne, and those are both in the corners of the state. You're talking about the 40s being collectors. Yeah. Is that a switch? I see. Yes, it is a switch. It's really cool. We just put it right here in the center, and we both sit in the back seat, and while we're charging, we can play on the Switch.
I'm playing Zelda right now.
You're playing Zelda?
Zelda. It's hard to see.
Yes, it is a good friend for when you're supercharging, or a lack thereof. We are RV park charging. Alright, so we've been live streaming for 27 minutes. Thank you for everybody joining and asking questions. Trump, yay or nay? What do you think? I'm trying not to be political because, half the country voted for him, so I don't really want to say either way. But I can say, judging by current policy, I'm not a huge fan. Can I see your charge rate? Sure thing. So we are on a 242 volt 40 amp RV park. So they say it's 50 amps, the breaker, but you get 40 because you only get 20%. Charging at 26 miles an hour. On my Model S, I used to get 30 miles an hour. So I've got an hour and a half left to be fully charged, and I would like to make it to my house, but I have a charging station over in Lander, Wyoming. So Lander's not that bad. Lander's 200 miles away. It's another 20 miles to my home. It's saying I can make it with 8% battery left. It's only 3.5 hours away. So my rated range is 223 miles, and I'm charged to 229 miles. And if I needed to, if I didn't make it that far, I could charge at my charging station in Lander, Wyoming, which is 22 miles away. So I've actually got a buffer of about almost 30 miles right now. So I'm good to go. Like I could make it home. If things start looking tough on the hills, I'll just have to slow down. So that's that. UK have 7 kilowatt most, Leaf 3 to 6. That's the charge rate that you guys have over there? So, let's see. Where does it say the kilowatts? I think it's in the app. At home, I have an 80 kilowatt wall charger, 240 volt. Or, I mean, not 80 amps. So that's what I got at my house, and at my office I have one as well. And then at the breadboard sandwich shop, I put in an 80 amp Wattzilla. And over in Lander, Wyoming, which is about a half hour away, I also have an 80 amp. And then I'm putting one in DuBois, Wyoming, which is about an hour and a half away from where I live towards Yellowstone. And it is going to have an 80 amp and a 40 amp. And then I'm putting one in Cody, Wyoming as well. That's mighty amps for home. Yeah, I travel a lot, and I debated on whether or not getting a lower charge rate. But when I gotta go somewhere, I don't want to have to wait extra time because there's no superchargers. Is Yellowstone really yellow during the fall? Fake news. What else? Thanks again, everybody. If you subscribe, you'll get notified when I'm doing these little live events. I think I'm going to be doing them more now that we got an app that works pretty good. Then I can make sure I get the news out while it's still news, whether it be fake or not. And that way you don't have to wait. Because normally I try and do them about once a week, and sometimes, the news is kind of old by that time. Tesla news, it seems like there's something every day. In fact, I was thinking about just doing this like on my commute to work, and just doing whatever the news is for the day, doing a daily news, and that way it's really fresh. So I don't know. Let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. Is the Yellowstone named after an Indian word? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to ask some people. I live on the Wind River Indian Reservation. And my father is an enrolled Arapaho, and I'm also Arapaho, but I'm obviously not a full blood. But that's where I work and spend a lot of time with people on the reservation. So that's where my family is. Outside U.S., your politics mad at present. Yep. I can't say a lot of people are pleased with our politics in the U.S. at the moment, and neither am I. Well, what do you think of the fully loaded Model 3 we'll have? I guess Elon at some point said that there will be ludicrous. So, but they also said that it won't have a 100 kilowatt hour battery. So I'm thinking they have to keep the top end stuff for the S and X. So my bet would be an 80 kilowatt hour max, and probably, or maybe a 90, but probably an 80, because they haven't had an 80. So I think they'll, like I said before, I think they'll kind of stagger them, so that they'll just read different to differentiate them from older Tesla Model S's and X's. And yeah, I think they'll have, leather option and the glass roof, and they also mentioned a solar roof, which would be really cool. Ludicrous, all-wheel drive. I've ridden in one a year ago, and they told me it was final. I mean, like they said, I asked about the interior, and they said, no, this is what we're planning on shipping. It wasn't landscape, it was a portrait center console that was smaller, screen, nothing in front of you directly. Everybody's rumoring about this HUD thing, and I guess they hired somebody, so it is possible there might be something, but because it's supposed to be the lower end, cheaper Tesla, I don't think they're going to do it, or if they do it, or if it is, it's not going to be standard, it'll be optional. I was riding in a BMW i8, and they had one, And I think the way that they should do it with the Tesla, and everybody's hoping they'll do it, is with the Autopilot. So it'll actually do augmented reality and do lines over the real world lines. And when you're moving your head around, I just don't know how they'd line that up. It would almost seem like there'd have to be eye tracking to move it. Like if you ever saw some of the videos where they were hacking Nintendo Wii's and they had eye tracking with the television, it was really cool stuff. But that's basically what I think they'd have to do, and it would only work for the driver, but it would have to somehow track where your head is in position with the screen and lining up with the road ahead of you. It could be done, and it could be really cool, but I'm skeptical on if it'll be the first version and if it'll be standard. Model S is too big for our parking spaces, although all vehicles getting bigger, soon everyone will be using monster trucks. Sure does seem like it. In fact, I kind of like the idea of a Model 3 because the S was huge, especially compared to the Chevy Volt I had. Tesla panel will slow down vampire terrain. Yes, that'll be awesome. So cars just won't die. I don't think they'll have to worry about keeping as much of a reserve because people are able to leave their car outside. Then they won't have to worry about it just dying 100%. I did say doo-doo. Well, it looks like I've got my range that I need to get home. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I guess I'll answer one last question here. Tesla Model S 2017 has panoramic roof, option similar to the X and 3, right? Kind of. The X is different. It's got a panoramic windshield, and the Falcon Wing doors are mostly glass. This car is almost all glass on the top half of it. It's just almost like a metal cage that's not glass. And on the S, I had the panoramic roof before, and it was really cool, but I mean, there's two big beams in the middle, and then the all-glass roof, there's no beam in the middle. So it's like, there's just more glass. I don't know how they do it without it being safe, but it seems like if they got rid of the beam entirely in the middle, then they could do all glass all the way, but it doesn't seem like that'd be very safe. C4 first generation, something simple in the middle. City 1, Liverpool 1. The RS has all their stuff's in the middle. I don't have something in front of you, or at least a version that I had seen, a model year that I had seen. And I think some of the Priuses were like that. I can't remember. They had something mostly in the middle. They might have a little bit of stuff in front of you, but not much. And I don't know. That's a good question. Anyways, I better get going. Thank you. We got 14 viewers for viewing. I better go. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Please subscribe.
Do it.